Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I'm in Cloudy Sheet and we are playing Command. We just won a couple of engagements here. This Harrier is returning from an intercept where he shot down a Hawkeye, and these guys over here, the Hornets, we are going to turn the sensors off, of course. They are transiting home after they shot down two F-16s down here. That leaves the enemy, the North African Islamic Alliance, led by Morocco over here, pretty defenseless for now, although we do see that they are starting new aircrafts down here. Our submarine that has been parked right around just across the airport over here of Gondo has actually spotted one of these guys, so we know that they are launching more aircraft. We do of course know that they do still have a couple of aircraft at Marrakesh. We do believe that they have more MiG-29s down here, but for now at least they are robbed of a lot of the radar capability, like the white lines over here. The next thing we want to do is organize an airstrike on the fleet down here to interrupt it. Until then, let's take brief stock of our assets. We do have a couple of Orion over here. These are just sort of surveying the path of our two fleets, Fleet Alpha, which is the main strike fleet, and Fleet Delta, which is the first service group, which includes the landing ships. We have two flights of two F-18s that are out here to cover our fleet from any air attack. We do have a couple of submarines hanging around, although they're not that relevant anymore. Group Alpha consists of a carrier, but the carrier doesn't really have any capability to launch a strike group, because as you can see here, our possible loadouts do include bombs, but to drop these we'd actually need to get pretty close. The Mavericks over here, I don't really think that the Maverick has a sufficient strike rate. It's 8 miles. That's way too close. I mean, you can see down here that from the center of sort of these Perry class and to the maximum engagement range you have 24 nautical miles. So I don't really want to risk it and get one of our airplanes that goes. By the way, you can still see Naval flying up here from our air engagement. But that's going to self-destruct very soon. Right then, we should also have one 707 over here, which is loitering and sort of just hanging about. As you can see, it's has about 9 hours to bingo fuel, and that suits us just fine because we in the last episode we actually set up our guys over here to include 2 Harpoons, which will be ready in 6 hours, and here 3 more planes, I should say, with Harpoons loaded, although each of these has 2 Harpoons. We also got one of the squadron up here to relocate down here, and this flight is also returning. We will be setting these guys to rearm with Harpoons as well. Let's directly resume time over here. There's not that much to do, except maybe I think like to pull down this tanker mission a bit down here, just so that we can refuel a bit closer to station. That's going to be fine. These points mark another tanker zone, although that is currently not activated, because we want to keep our strike craft until we can actually see them. More Mirages down here. Mirages haven't really been bothering us too much, so everything I guess should be fine. This 707 of course is a bit vulnerable. We'll pull it back just very slightly so that it's better under air cover from the fleet, but that should be fine. These Harriers here will very soon return to base, I think in about 20 minutes. That should be fine. I don't really expect anything to happen until then, but we'll keep it in mind. Craft coming in from the front. Oh, wait a minute, we should actually check in Rota over here whether these guys do have any further capabilities. The Startwinders, Mavericks, but that's about it. Okay, that's fine I guess. Although I believe we might. These are good packages, and they're being ready very soon. I think what we might want to do over here is once this guy's landed, take that into account a bit closer. You can see these guys are leaving, rather landing there, and that hopefully is fine as well. Let's check. Nope, haven't landed yet. It's ready at Harpoon, that's fine. Yeah, here you go. You can see our guys are landing. And these guys are actually a bit low on fuel. As you can see behind the slimmer fuel that they have left, I think this is a Marion, just coming up here. These two guys, basically, we abused them a bit, to be honest. Taxiing to parking spot, yeah. Can I already tell you to ready arm? Nope, can't do that. So this guy has just landed, but it's taxiing across the base. We'll slow our time a bit. Let's see whether these guys are ready now. These two are taxiing as well. So yeah, we'll just give it a minute. Let's check down here whether the Mirages are doing anything funky. They are. They're coming in straight at us. So that's certainly something that. Whoa. Look at that. Did you see that? This one accelerated really quickly. But now he's on a loitering pattern. I'm not sure what that is about. Let's see whether the Mirage actually has any. Can only fire rockets or iron bombs at us, so I don't think that was an attack pattern. Maybe it just thought it might do that for a second. Yeah, these guys are fine. Let's get to Macon over here then and take the paveways. 3 seconds gone. The AMRAAM. Oh. 2, 1, parked. You guys also please arm yourself with an Harpoon without the AMRAAM so you have a better range. 6 hours. Okay, so 6 hours from now we can launch these guys. And these guys up here, I think we will be able to launch a bit earlier, which is fine. Yeah, that's 20 minutes earlier. 20 minutes, these guys travel at 400 knots, so actually need to launch about half an hour earlier than the guys from Macon to meet up over here and then continue on their mission. We will, before that comes to play, actually set up our tankers so that they are ready to go and that they can refuel up over here and then come in. The actual strike range, I believe, was listed at 400 nautical miles, so you can see that, yeah, we are 200 miles short and a bit more even from our northern base up here. So yeah, definitely we will need to refuel at some point. These guys I'll actually pull a bit closer to the fleet because actually our threat isn't anymore coming from the side, but more from down there from the south. So also this guy I'll pull a bit closer because we don't know whether any threat might still be launched from here. I do believe they have some things up there. Aircraft on elevator, 1.5 minutes to parking spot. Let's set our time somewhat. We need to resume it. Stop. What was that? A vampire? So who spotted that? Yeah, look at that. That's interesting. That is really interesting. So our ships over here just spotted this thing coming in. It's a missile, we know that much. Let's make sure every sensor here is on. I want you to turn on all the radars. So I do think that these guys must have launched something, even though they are not actually capable of doing anything like that. Rockets, strike, land, naval, high low. What are you carrying? Bombs? It's not a bomb we're looking at. You know what it might be? It might be a guided weapon that is targeting one of our helicopters. Because that thing would actually have the range. No, sorry. This thing might have the range. Targets aircraft, missiles, guided bombs. So it couldn't be a helicopter, I believe. Or maybe it could be. Let's briefly resume time to see where it travels. More missiles. There's another possible explanation that I do have here. Oh yeah. You see, 570 knots, 30 feet. That's an Harpoon. And that means must have been launched. It really must have been launched by some sort of submarine. These points up here delineate one of our anti-submarine warfare missions. I didn't dare to pull them down too far because I was worried about the anti-air engagement range of these guys and planes coming in from down there. But I'll definitely do that now. Maybe a bit more gracious towards here. It does mean that our Orion craft over here, which aren't the very best to deal with these things, will come in a bit like that. We will tell our Sea King up here to travel over here at the minimum possible altitude and maximum possible speed, because I do believe there might be a contact over here, a submarine that has just launched these missiles. Of course it might be a bit further away, and we just saw it now because it's entering engagement range, but we'll have to see. The anti-ship missiles that are coming in here will hopefully be targeted very soon by our own craft. For example, this one. But we're only seeing it very intermediately. Wait a minute. Let's make sure that you are turning on your radar. Yeah, so that at least allowed us to spot these guys a bit more closely, because they are sea skimming, right? They're only 10 meters or so above the ground. Do we actually have something? We have the OCM, early level warning. Yeah, I'm just on to submarine warfare. Well, I launched this guy as well. A few seconds, so I think very soon we should see these guys. There we go. Gets rims, yes. And these looking good. Bothering yeah. And that is a far distance, because I believe maybe they are aimed at this guy, maybe at this guy. I'm not too sure. But hopefully we'll be able to. Also, I'll come over here and make some speed, please. So, first, yeah, it's an Harpoon. I could look at whether the IB variant is the submarine variant. But I don't believe so. It's a bit cheating, you know. So let's not do that. Why are you not firing a second rim at this guy? Maybe because it's not necessary. Great. Very good hit chance here. So yeah. Just as I was saying earlier, it's rather unlikely that a strike like that would ever be really successful. There should be a tanker coming down, yes. What are you doing? Oh yeah, the Harriers. You know what, you're confusing me. Just go home. Let's also keep a look at the Harriers. This guy's readying and it's taking 3 hours, so I'm actually gonna do something else over here, and that is this is a pathway. This is a rock eye, and I believe a rock eye is yes. No optional weapons. Still, I'm going to do that, and I'm gonna arm this guy with a couple of Mavericks. You need a lighting pump for that. Okay, fine. Yeah, that's going to take 6 hours, which is a long time, but still I think this might be worthwhile. These guys are seemingly back on military speed. Not sure what that is about. Maybe they are targeting our helicopter over here. So this guy is actually going to turn. Oh, service search. No, you're going to turn this off. And that might cause you to lose contact. No, you're actually coming in hard. They're actually flying in our engagement, into our engagement range. And that means that whatever happens, I am going to launch one of these guys. 30 seconds. That should be very fine. These guys up here are taking their time. Yeah, they're actually loitering. I want you to go cruise speed, please. The issue here is that I'm afraid that these guys, once they do get fired at by our that very soon they will do something very similar to what we've seen earlier, namely dip down, just take cover behind basically, so that these guys can't be dedicated. Because these are semi-active, so they need terminal guidance. To be guided in by another aircraft. On the other hand, our Harriers down here, which we will set to minimum altitude and military speed, might maybe, while these guys are in their evasive maneuvers, maybe our Harrier here might be able to launch some of the sidewinders. I'm not sure. Do you even have internal guns? I'm not sure. There was a period where jet aircraft weren't really armed with any more guns, but yeah. In fact, you do have 30mm guns, 50 rounds. Although I think that's 50 rounds of 6 shell bursts. So in fact, 300 rounds as you normally see. Whereas this guy, yeah, has only 25mm guns. Maybe they're a bit better, maybe not. I'm not sure. But yeah, here you can see, and they're dropping down fast. They're also accelerating pretty strongly. And now they are burning some energy because they are turning. You could actually be retargeted. Come on. Attempt retargeting, and it's taking too long. There we go. Damn it. Yeah, so 1 hit out of 3 missiles. On a hit probability of about I guess that's fine. Of course, still our Harrier will keep in the air here. Let's just end it a bit more like that. Can I tell you to drop? Oh, you don't really even have anything anymore, do you? I don't think you do. Do you? No, you do. You are communicating. You are anything else we need to take into account? I don't think so. All this seems to be going fine. You're returning home. You are returning home. I'm always worried about these tankers because their fuel is so low. But of course it's always in relation to what they could carry, and of course, you know, it makes sense that they are only returning home once they've expended most of the fuel. I'm not entirely sure what these guys' purpose was, or whether they were actually trying to bomb us as sort of a desperation measure, but that would be a pretty stupid idea. Gonna come in a bit closer to the fleet, maybe have a bit of a better idea of what's going on down here. Hopefully we'll hit here. Nope. There you go. And yeah, that's the same issue as before. When you do allow them to dive low enough, our missiles won't actually be able to target them. And we actually lost radar contact entirely for 4 seconds. Now it's coming up again. And we're launching more missiles, but then they'll dive down at 0. So that's no good. Hence, maybe this area will be very useful. There's an issue here in that this guy could of course target our carrier as well, but I'm hoping that not to be the case or be interrupted by these missiles that are coming in, so maybe we'll be lucky there. By the way, I got a new microphone a couple of episodes ago, do let me know whether the audio is any better than it used to be, because I know there were some issues there. Here we go. That's coming in. He's diving low and taking sort of a perpendicular course so that missiles don't have quite such an easy time hitting him. They are going blind. He is probably very soon hitting their cock again. You can see my always issue with the Harrier. It's so slow. 550 knots is the most that he can do, and these guys were just... they were actually quicker than that. Let's see if we can't target that. Aircraft altitude is too low. Oh, really? Really? No, wait, is that our altitude or his? Yes. Go for it. 2 missiles. Here we go. You, sir, I want you to deploy. You're dipping somehow. You, please descend that a bit more sensibly. Sidewinder has run out of energy. Yeah, so that's one of the issues of the kinematic range, right? So the issue is here that damn it. So the issue is that they're actually running too quick for our sidewinders to catch up. This is the range of our sidewinders, and it's sort of an... We're going to tell him to manually engage that. And maybe we'll be able to... So this is now our... briefly check what height is here. Still 80 feet. You need to dive low, my friend. Minimum altitude. So you can get a cool shot of. Nice! You didn't need to. The last sidewinder did it. And that means you can return home. And that is of course very lovely. Now this guy is hopefully deploying sonar, which he'll do in 3 minutes. What have we got down there? More radar installations, is that it? Yeah. Radars at here, radars down there. Pretty good range too. Oh well, we'll have to see that. This guy's very low, as you would expect. Because he's coming in 2 bays. It's not actually that low. What does the low mean? I don't know. So this guy didn't even spot anything suspicious. So I know somewhere there must be a submarine. Right, you can see the Harrier is new boogies. Yeah, detected by our submarine. No, detected actually by not detected by a submarine, then it's over here, yeah, also. So probably more F-16s coming in from this airbase. Remember, we didn't take it out in the sense of destroying every capability to launch planes from there. We only took out the capability to consistently do that by destroying their fuel dumps. And that is one of the reasons why I kept the carriers up here for such a long time. Because, you know, you see the issue. If our supply lines really depend on this being open. This Orion aircraft here would be really out of its depth if suddenly some F-16s were coming in from here and engaging. And these guys, again, they don't really have the fuel to come home and do a lot of fighting, so they're better off just going home as well. And that makes me believe that we might actually come down here and maybe do something like these guys down there. We'll also set to launch a second group over here. Lovely. Right then, this guy does deploy. I want to make sure that these guys are deploying their sonars effectively and their radar. Just keep everything on, please. This is probably the least useful one, this underwater sensors. It doesn't really work like that because submarines really tend to be a bit harder to spot. What we can do though is deploy an active, drop an active sonar buoy, and I want to do that over the layer because I'm afraid that these guys actually launched the yeah, this is the pattern that we have deployed. And it is somewhat spotty, and I believe that is due to the fact that we are probably running out of also many numbers. What is that? Oh, okay. Decon system. Interesting. Yeah, that is funny. So, okay, our F-18s up there are launched, so we can tell these guys to come back down here and probably refuel first and then turn down there. On the other hand, these guys are trying to intercept them. We got proof. trying to come in behind. It's actually a bit hard to say whether they are spotting us. I believe they would be, because this is their spotting range. So, and we are pretty high up. We could go low and actually have a chance that these guys aren't spotting us at all, which might be beneficial, but it would mean we are burning much more fuel, right? So let's just briefly check how much that actually is. So we are in this band over here at cruise speed, so we are burning 27 kilograms of fuel per minute, and if we were to go the same speed a bit lower, this would increase by 50%. And yet lower, we might even look at double the burn rate. But you know what? We do have 400 miles to bingo fuel, so I think that's what we're actually going to do. We're going to drop down to low altitude. Was there actually a further band down here? Yeah, but we do it. That means we are drastically reducing our range, as you can see over here. It will be dropping further and further. But we only estimate that we need to go about 85 miles. So I think we will be fine. And we will not be able, and they'll not be able to spot us unless they turn on the radar on these guys. And even then it might be just forward looking, right? So again, a bit of a sneaking maneuver. These F-18s are still down here, which I like. They're providing a bit better air cover maybe than the Harriers did. Although the Harrier did an excellent job. Let's drop passive sonar buoy under the layer. There we go. Just to make sure that if there's a submarine coming in from this angle, maybe it will stumble over there. Alright then, I think next episode we'll see what's going on here, also we'll probably see our preparations over here a bit more further, so we'll accelerate time a bit and prepare for our actual strike on the fleet. But for this time, I thank you guys for watching, and we'll have to see how this plays out next time. Thank you, bye bye.